Well, brother, things are spicy as always. How are we liking the game so far, boys? Somebody just joined the chat. Damn. Oh my god. How's it going, boys? You know? Yeah, Derek, you took the words out of my mouth. Shouldn't be this close. A lot of miscues. Just. Stressing ain't the word for it. What's up, Christian? Yes, sir. Trying to keep my head on straight today. This is not great. But bad. Hey, Matt, bad doesn't even start to say it. Well, I'll be generous. I'll say bad. I'll go with bad. I was gonna say horrendous, but then I had to look at the total score distribution. I was like, you know what? Considering the fact that the first half was relatively competitive, though we did end up winning the first quarter and the second quarter more convincingly, the third and the fourth haven't been as egregiously bad, I guess. That being said, this bad is the word. 3 minutes left in the third. We broke down. We died. Got kicked right in the rear. Yeah, I agree. Logic after Triple J went out, it went horrible for us with turnovers. Man, look, John Collins 18-3, Lowry 26-6, Jordan Clarkson 26-4-4, Ochai 15-6. I'm very happy with what Ochai has been doing today. All issues apart. You said Hardy should have called a timeout after we had like 4 turnovers. Yes, I would agree. I think the only reason why he would ever stand on not doing it is because he believes that the players in this particular game, despite it being a must-win game, he thinks that they can just right the ship. Which, so far, as much as we're stressing, it looks like this one's kaput. If we don't close this out without Smart and Triple J playing, I'm gonna cry. I'm not gonna lie. I might be very sick. I not might. I will be very sick because I couldn't imagine a world where we are competing with, honestly, with them at full health. They're missing 3 of their starters off that list. So um yeah, already being in a dogfight like this right now just shows how lackadaisical we are, and just how much of the lack of chemistry is affecting us. And then on top of that, how hungry they are. Because yes, they did get their first one, but they're playing us like they didn't. They're playing us like they're 0-8 right now. Which rightfully so, if you're a team that's going to be like that and you're still trying to make the playoffs once Ja comes back, this is something that you have to do. You have to be able to capably beat a team like the Utah Jazz, who are fighting to be, a playoff team, and just prove that they belong on the court with other big name teams and franchises. He said we still had 11 points at that point. He just We still had 11 points at that point, and he just let us keep breaking down. True. True. Let's see. Keontae's still low in the points category, 5 points, 3 rebounds, but 11 assists. So we're looking like that's the staple thing. Sorry, but we're still leading. No. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Kelly 6, 8, and 2 took on a bigger rebounding role today. Obviously, with Kessler out, somebody had to do the dirty work. THT 13, 3, and 2 off the bench. Colin Sexton 10, 2, and 6. 6 assists out of him is kind of surprising, but at the same time, I guess not. Bless you. Thank you. Welcome. Derek, you said, with how bad of a start to the season we've had, I'm actually liking these tournament games, giving us something to play for, and we're looking at it. Want to know? Yeah, there we go. Gotta find the positives within these heinous evils that we're having to deal with right now. Like, this is just, 3-7 is ugly, right? But we could be 2-8. That's the only good thing I got from that. Blazers at home, so we have an easy 2-0 tourney start. Yes, ideally. Obviously we know the Memphis Grizzlies, their one win did come against the Trailblazers, so hopefully that trend continues and they continue to be like a mud team and we handle business on home field, you know. Um you said even with our bad turnovers, this game was better from the field than most games. I'd agree with that. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. After today, I wouldn't call it a lock though. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's going to come down to a lot of effort things, a lot of energy things, just who wants the game more. And squeaked out of this one with a W, but let's face it, you don't like the way this one turned out. Nobody does. If Bismack Biyombo gives you 15 and 13, you don't like how the game went. Point blank, period. There's not a discussable, you know, it's not much to be said there. Not to say Bismack Biyombo was a terrible player. You know what I'm saying? He started from my Charlotte Bobcats and he played some games for the Hornets amongst being just a solid veteran on a lot of different teams. But I stand on what I said. There's no reason you should be allowing him to give you 15 and 13 in 33 minutes. What's up, Eric? Yes, sir. Pleasure to have you with us tonight, boy. Let's see. You said, I like Keontae's game, consistently productive in assists. And although he misses a lot, he's not afraid to keep shooting. Love the confidence. Exactly. And also, the types of shots that he's taking are shots that he should be taking for one. And for two, he's not going to be He's not going to be missing when he gets more comfortable. That's what I really like the most because you see a lot of shots like when Jordan Clarkson's streaky, you see him take a lot of shots where you just sit there and you're like, bro, you're not hot. Why would you shoot that? But with Keontae, it's like he's taking the shot that he should take, and it's just not going in right now. At some point, you know, the luck's gonna go his way, right? He's passing the ball efficiently. He's a willing passer, understanding that his shot is not falling. And that's something that you can appreciate because there's nothing worse than a shot chucker who knows he's not hitting, but he's like, I'm gonna get the next one, and then doesn't get the next one. It's okay if he gets it, right? Jordan Clarkson's had a couple of those games this season where he gets it, and it's like, well, I mean, the ball went in, but it's those games where it doesn't go in, where it kills you. You said the two shots he hit though came in more pressure on the Grizzlies one. Okay, hmm I'm with you on that. Keontae's passes have been amazing. I'm trying to look up these advanced metrics. Side note, Desmond Bain did us dirty again. 37, 4 and 8. Much to be expected. Should be there. Yo, sidebar. I know this is sorry, I didn't mean to raise my voice like that. But I was watching a breakdown the other day of not the Grizzlies, what the heck? Of the Timberwolves and the Boston Celtics when they played each other early in the season. And hold on, you said I didn't mean to ask a negative sounding question, but as someone who hasn't watched a full game and seeing the highlights and box scores and reads recaps, who has been the most disappointing Jazz man? Definitely got to go Jordan Clarkson. Definitely got to go Jordan Clarkson. Now today obviously was one of his better games. So now I guess out of 10 games he's been pretty pretty playable in 3 or 4 of them, which isn't a great number, but you know, it's better than what we were seeing before. So we'll take it. Oh, there go the boys. Tyson. Yeah, we needed that W. James, yes, sir. We needed that. We needed it. We needed it. We needed it. You say THT or Sexton? I gotta go Clarkson. THT. That is true though. THT has had like 2 genuinely good games, but I feel like THT's lows haven't been as low as Jordan Clarkson's have. Like there's no game where THT plays so bad that it negates the positives that Lowry provides, if that makes sense. Like there was the one game where Clarkson, where I referenced where Clarkson goes like 5 of 20 from the field and 2 of 8 from 3. And he shot like I want to say that game Lowry had 16 shots. So he shot more shots than Lowry and shot 25% on them, which is something that we just can't have. Because even if Lowry has an amazing game, if you shoot more shots than him and your efficiency is hot dog water, you're killing us. But yeah, I would say that THT has had less really good games than Clarkson, but he's also had less really bad games. So for me, I'm gonna lean Clarkson. But I see why you picked THT though, for sure, for sure. Six man of the year a few years ago. Yeah, yeah. Keontae's game is beautiful. Took good shots. They just didn't fall tonight, man. Passing. I would agree with you. Like I was just saying a second ago, the shots that he's taking aren't bad shots, and that's the one thing you can always appreciate about a rookie that knows that's trying to learn his game, right? You can miss shots. You're a rookie. It's gonna happen. If you're afraid to miss shots, you're a liability on the court because that means you're not going to take the shots when they're there. The biggest gripe that I had with Walker Kessler at the very beginning of the season was he would end up in the corner or he'd end up on the wing with no big on him. The man sinks in the paint and he's refused to take three. The three is gonna miss at some point, right? But in order for the three to start going in and for people to respect it, you have to take that shot. Keontae is taking the shots that he needs to take, and they're just not falling yet. And I can live with that because he's not taking, 10, 15, 20 of them. It's just a handful, and it's like, okay, we'll get better with time. And then he's offsetting it with his ability to properly play make and give up the ball with proper timing. And that's something that THT kind of struggled with when in his minutes and still hasn't quite ironed out, which is why he's seeing the pine a little bit more now, or just at the very least is coming off the bench now. He's playing still roughly similar minutes in the 20s, but Keontae George is just not only a more willing passer, he's more decisive with the ball in his hands. And that's something that the Jazz have been sorely lacking in. Defensively, again, this was not a perfect game. By any stretch of the imagination, if I look up the advanced statistics right now, I'm gonna want to cry myself to sleep. I already know. But, but, but with that being said, a win is a win, man. A win is a win, and we needed this one. A win is a win. Let me see. He said Clarkson, now that Keontae is starting, seems to be doing better. That's a very interesting point. 2 back-to-back games where he's been relatively efficient from the field. We have to appreciate it. I'm going to hold off to praise him until after the next game. If he plays well against I know they're not a particularly good team, but if he plays well against the Trailblazers, I'm going to give him his due praise, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and hope that he's come out of this shooting slump that he was experiencing. Keontae is our starting point guard. Yep, that's the way it's looking. Walker Kessler has been graded out as one of the worst players in the NBA. Anyone who says THT is a casual. Hold on, run that back. Walker Kessler has graded out as one of the worst. Tyler, I think I misunderstood that. Let me scroll up and catch that real quick. It's not working. Okay. Walker Kessler has graded out as one of the worst players in the NBA. Anyone who says THT has a casual basketball IQ. Oh, you were talking about the I forgot, Tyler. You will always play devil's advocate for THT, and I love that about you. I appreciate you, Tyler, and welcome to the stream. By the way, I think that was your first comment tonight. Eric, you said the next Jazz game on ESPN or TNT. I'm gonna make sure to watch to see Keontae for sure. Must see television. Also, logic agree with that. Clarkson has had a solid two guard, but needs a real PG. Yeah. Also, I would say that Jordan Clarkson not being forced to be the distributor while on the court allows him to be more of the shooter that he was originally the player as. He won the sixth man of the year award not off the strength of his ability to play make for others, but off his shot creation ability for himself. Right. A man that comes off the bench as a six man is typically your heavy scorer. He's probably not particularly great defensively, and he might not provide much else, but he's known for putting the ball in the hoop. So when you add that extra dynamic where you're expecting him to be a good passer, when he hasn't been expected to be that really at any stage of his career up until this point, he's going to be extremely turnover prone, which he was. And so he caught a lot of flack from me. While consciously understanding the role that he was trying to fill, which is also why I try to give him grace every now and then and say I'm not cooking on him too crazy, but he is one of the biggest. His play was one of the biggest reasons why the Jazz were losing the games that they were, and that's not to say that the Jazz would have won certain games, but more so to say that they wouldn't have lost as bad and things wouldn't have gotten as ugly if he didn't make certain decisions that he happened to make. Let's see, Tiago. Oh, what's up, Tiago? Yes, sir. All right, we'll see you in a bit. We'll see you in a bit, Christian. He said, "Dang, what happened to Kessler? He was at bright spot of the team last season. Elbow. Yep. Because opponent's dirty arm dislocation. I'll never forget when Kelly Olynyk did Kevin Love like that in the playoffs. I used to hate Kelly Olynyk for that. It was the competitive juices flowing. Now I understand. But let's see. Going forward, Keontae just scored his first points in the game with 6 minutes left in the game. Open three. I love it. Reminds me of Mike Conley. Point guard can affect the game without scoring 11 assists and one turnover. Yes, sir. We love a low turnover game. We love it. Specifically from the point guard because he is the floor general. They say Kessler's confidence took a hit this summer playing for Team USA. That's the word on the street, man. I'm starting to actually believe in that. I didn't want to, but I have to like just genuinely call a spade at the end of the day. And that's the way it's looking, you know what I'm saying? We said what? Love John Collins, man. That's all. Derek, you're right there with me, buddy. Cause this is the thing. People don't understand how great John Collins has been. And that's not to sit there and say that, oh, he came in and he gives you, 18. Today he had 18 and 3, he's going to give you a consistent 15 and 8 on a nightly basis. And if he doesn't, that's just an anomaly. That's not the reason why I like John Collins so much. It's because you took John Collins and you effectively just removed him from the system where he was relegated to playing defense and swinging the ball and getting corner threes and shooting them to putting him in an offense where he gets the opportunity to put the ball on the deck and attack the basket every now and again. And does the shot always go in? No. Does he always, straight line drive to the basket for his own shot? No. Sometimes he just kicks it, which is perfectly fine. But he's been the perfect plug and play player that got moved this offseason, in my opinion. Now, perhaps there's somebody that just seems to be slipping my mind. But when you think of John Collins, it's the efficiency that you have to love for one. He's not terrific on defense. I would like him to be a little bit better, particularly when we're in zone. His man defense has been a little bit subpar, but overall it hasn't been terrible. And for that reason, when you look at just how incredibly efficient he's been on offense, at no point is he a black hole. He hasn't had a beneath 50% shooting night, has he, across these 10 games? To memory. Maybe he has, and it was just so quiet because I didn't pay attention to it because somebody else had a really bad game. But overall, he's just been the perfect guy offensively to mesh alongside Walker Kessler and Larry Markkinen. Now, Walker, obviously dealing with his injury, hasn't been putting up his personal numbers, so it kind of looked like the fit was a little wonky. And then Walker also was unwilling to shoot his open threes, so it made things a little bit more difficult. But I would say now at this point, John Collins is just consistently and playing 38 minutes today. So he's he's been that guy. He's been that guy. And being able to play him alongside Lowry and them both being able to play off of each other when neither of them is really a good playmaker is even more impressive. So you add Keontae George to the mix, right? And he's the lead passer that sets up Lowry for some of his three-point attempts. That's going to set up John Collins for some of his dishes. You know what I'm saying? A good table setter cannot be overstated. And what I was actually going to say about the video that I saw, I watched it earlier today when it was the Timberwolves against the Celtics. At the time, the Timberwolves had the number one rated defense in the league, and the Celtics had the number one rated offense. But the thing that made it interesting in that game was obviously Karl-Anthony Towns is not a particularly great defender despite his size. Rudy Gobert has been playing like he wants the Defensive Player of the Year award again, which he's a little removed from that, level of play, but it's looked like he's looked apart. But the most important piece has been Anthony Edwards' improvement, and we expected that from him. Even when he played with Team USA, I continuously said he was probably the only guy on that roster that definitely for sure needs to be on the next roster. When all the superstars get sent out from the US and LeBron and Curry and Tatum and everybody all decide to play, Anthony Edwards deserves to be on that roster because he's a dog. He's going to get after it. And he's showing it this season, right? He's putting up numbers. He's being incredibly efficient, and he's taking defense personally. But you need somebody to pair with him, right? Mike Conley. And the thing is, Mike Conley's like mid-30s now, so he's not terrific on defense, but he'll put a body on somebody. He doesn't get in foul trouble, and he's a table setter on offense. He hits open shots. He doesn't force his own shot. He's going to let the other players get theirs. And throughout that entire game, it was just a masterclass of his performance. And he did have two timely baskets at the very end of the game, I believe. And he also had a couple defensive one stop in transition, I believe, and then one just at the point of attack. And that's something that the Jazz would have really loved to have right now because our defense suffers because we don't have somebody that can hold their own at the point of attack, and we didn't have a table setter. We tried to see if Jordan Clarkson could do it, and we tried to see if he could split the responsibilities alongside Taylor Horton Tucker. Neither of them could adjust in time, so now we have Keontae George getting the opportunity. Obviously, I think Walker Kessler finally being sat was part of the reason why we got to see Ochai in the game. But I think it also played into the fact that they were willing to go ahead and make the change and just give Keontae the opportunity to make a mistake, or better yet, to earn the opportunity to start a game. I believe if they were to play Chris Dunn extreme minutes, it would be a thing of him playing to prove that he's bad, to basically explain why they haven't been playing him minutes. Whereas Keontae, you give him the start to prove why he should be starting going forward. And so far, despite his lack of shot making, I'm willing to give him the pass off the strength of the fact that he's low turnover, right? 20 assists to 2 turnovers. That's a 10 to 1 turnover assist to turnover ratio. And it's across 2 games. I'm willing to say that, right? But he's played 30 plus minutes in both. So I'm believing that this is something that's going to stay. I expect he'll have a couple games where he does have, 3, 4 turnovers, but I'm not going to expect a game where he has, 5 assists, 6 turnovers, like we saw from Jordan Clarkson the other day. I just don't think that's in his game. The way that he runs, the way that he operates on offense just isn't conducive to that sort of output. It's going to give you yielding high, as long as everybody's hitting their shots, of course, it's going to yield high assist numbers. And as long as he doesn't make errant passes and he makes that split second decision and get the ball out of his hands, he's undoubtedly going to make sure that the guys get the ball when they need it, and they're going to be more likely to hit those timely shots. But enough of that rant. Sorry, I went to yapping. Let's see here. We said John's been amazing. Atlanta missed out. Well, Atlanta wasn't going to properly use him. So really, I wouldn't say they missed out, but they got fleeced for him. They definitely got fleeced for him because we only gave up a second round pick in Rudy Gay. And to my knowledge, Rudy Gay hasn't been doing anything, outlandish on their team. Assuming he's still there and they didn't waive him. I don't think they waived him though. And that second round pick, unless it turns into something incredible, you know, unless the second round pick gives them 18 and 6, won the trade pretty convincingly, in my opinion. We said THT and Sexton still ain't it. Sexton's kind of getting lost in the rotation now. With THT seeing the bench and still putting up similar numbers, Sexton's going to be the odd man out still to this day. We thought we were getting Mitchell 2.0, but Keontae is more like D-Will 2.0. That's interesting. I can see that. You said THT has played by far the best defensive any guard. Keontae's a really good defensive game tonight. It was his first impactful one. THT has struggled for sure, but he's one of the best, if not. Defensively, THT, the reason why he sees the court is because of his defense. Despite his turnover proneness on offense, the thing about THT, he reads the floor well. He just doesn't trigger in time. He just doesn't get the ball out of his hands and make the correct play. He knows the correct play. He's cerebral enough to understand that. But a lot of times he just doesn't do it in time, or when he sends the ball out, it gets there too late. That's his biggest issue, and that's what led to a lot of the turnovers or just a lot of missed shots that could have turned into assists for him, in my opinion, of course. I think, Tyler, you would probably agree with that. But defensively, if we're not counting Chris Dunn, he still provides the best defense out of the other guys by a pretty comfortable margin. Colin Sexton's is more of a length thing than an effort thing, but still, THT has the size and length to make recoveries that simply Colin can't. And really, I guess you could say Ochai would be the closest next, because Ochai has the physical tools that THT doesn't have. THT obviously having more tools than, the likes of Clarkson, Keontae, and Sexton, but not the same as what Ochai's been blessed with, and what honestly he did put on display today. I need to touch on that as well. 15 and 6 out of him. I was glad to see him play his 30 minutes and get some shine right there, because we were definitely waiting on it for a long time. Let's see. Oh, what's up, Connor? You said James, you said THT will be out of the league in 2 years. I don't know about that one. He is only 23, I think. 23, 24. He's young. He's young. I know he looks like he's 30, but he's pretty young. D-Will 2.0 ain't bad either, James. Oh no, we'll take it. At this point, we'll take it. You said Sexton needs to go, in my opinion. I think Sexton's probably going to be seeing the trading block sooner than later. Not to say that he's been horrible, right? But he's just been in a lot of forgettable moments of the games, if that makes sense, right? Like crunch time, he's not really seeing the floor. He's seeing it like, second, third quarter here, there, spurts, a little minutes here and there. Today he played 18 minutes and he was fairly effective, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, but they're not the most memorable plays in your mind. They're just kind of there. They're an afterthought, which I don't love for him, but it makes things difficult. Let's see. What do you think the Jazz should do? Build around Lowry or continue the rebuild? I believe that you can do both of them, actually. Donnie, is that your first comment in here, bro? What's up, man? I would argue that is the first. I think that's something that, if done properly, if anybody can do it right, Danny Ainge can. As far as pieces that get put around him, but I think that you can use Lowry as a piece of your rebuild to superset it, if that makes sense. Sorry, I got a little bit behind in comments. I'm about to catch up real quick. I don't really like Duns and even Abaji's D. Yeah, for sure. Let young guys play. THT, Sexton out, Hendricks in. Hendricks is big though. But if Hendricks is going to see the floor, I would say that this is going to be the time because Walker is not in the rotation. Like that's something that has to happen. I believe personally. Now he has been assigned to the G League team, but a little bit of burn right now wouldn't kill his game. Just to see how he would handle it. Just we gave Yurt like 5 or 6 minutes the other night. So 6 minutes to the Rook wouldn't kill him. Especially we are in a tournament that kind of matters, so that might change things a little bit. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Hopefully build around Lowry, man. Not often we see a solid player on a team with multiple years. I think Ainge has a couple of trades up his sleeve. For sure, Donnie, or for sure, Eric, I'm right behind you with that. Yeah, he had a nice game in the G League. I did done play tonight. I was working, so let's see. Nope. 18-3, 5 of 6 shooting. God, gotta love it. Abaji played small forward almost exclusively. Dunn has played like 20 minutes total. Yeah. Fighting demons for real. You said 3 of 3 from 3? I love that even more. He said, what do you think the Jazz should do? Go for a top pick? Hey, Rick. Oh, what's up, Jordan? What's up, Brody? I'm trying to get back up. I'm working my way. I don't think it's all that much necessary to go for a top pick. I do agree that we should play more of our young guys. Maybe acquire Nembhard from the Pacers for defense. That would be interesting. No, I want the Mavericks to get our pick this year because otherwise they'll just get it next year. And this year's draft class doesn't look that amazing. I would agree. And if the pick is below 15, that's good. Okay. I see what you're saying, Tayton. Clarkson and Kessler play just as responsible for the losses as THT. He gets 100% of the blame. Oh, Tyler, I spread the love. I'm willing to admit that Kessler has been underwhelming. He's had spurts here and there. Obviously, the 22-11 game was good. The other game where he had 5 blocks wasn't actually the defensive masterclass that the 5 blocks would have suggested, but it was still a good game nevertheless for him. But overall, the picture is not painted very well for him this season, though, so far. And his touch around the basket has been, at times, god awful because most of his shots are coming through him because he's been refusing to shoot threes. Now, he's taken a couple of them, which I appreciate, but he needs to be willing to take them all the time and not hesitate. Don't be surprised if Danny Ainge gets someone like Levine. I don't want Levine. I'm not going to lie. For peanuts like he did with Collins. Oh, I need to read the entire message next time. My fault, Eric. I wouldn't be surprised if Danny Ainge gets someone like Levine from Chicago for peanuts like he did for Collins and another big time player. If you could get Zach Levine for peanuts, I would take it. I'd much rather have. No, Siri, be quiet. I would much rather have Lonzo Ball, low key, even though we can't use him this year, right? If he comes back and he's 70% of the player that he was before, unless if Keontae keeps playing like this, then you're probably got to stay Keontae low key. Actually high key, yeah, because it would make Lonzo's presence redundant except for his defensive upside. Let's see, where are we? Clarkson had the same role on offense, assistless. Assisted less, turned it over more, and shot worse percentages while playing much worse defense. Good God. Tyler, you cook on him just like I did. He might have been a little bit more crazy, but I'm with you. It took 10 whole games, but the Jazz finally found their identity. At least we're not as bad as the Grizzlies. I'm dead. You're right though, Tiago. You're right. James, you said I like that. Numbar would be a good fit. Then you said if we could get him for Olenek or Sexton. I want to keep Olenek though. I want to keep Olenek. I gotta keep Olenek. He didn't have much of a playmaking role today, obviously, as referenced by his 2 assists, but it wasn't necessary because Keontae had 11 of them, which we love to see. Sexton also had 6 today, which was kind of surprising, I guess. I don't know. It would be an ideal trade to continue starting Keontae Numbar so that Clarkson will go back to being a 6 man. I think neither of them could operate because Kessler's lack of spacing and Hardy wasn't spacing THT and Clarkson out enough at the top of the arc. That's arguably true. Lee, what's up, bro? Yes, sir. Ochai having a chance to shoot now with a playmaker might be helping with the confidence of some of the guys. Arguably true. Yes, sir. Eric, you see Lee's in the house, boy. Yes, sir. You said just finished editing my video, so I wasn't able to hop on earlier. Oh no, you're good. I got to streaming late as well. Had a lot of stuff going on. Tell you said George T. Turnover on and out of bounds. 5-second call was pretty bad. Low key. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I was gonna gloss over it low key. John Collins didn't have to play at center today. Yeah, that was an interesting adjustment. I guess they didn't love Lowry being the 5. John really isn't a 5 to me at any point. I guess in small ball setups, but if you have Lowry on the court too, they're just kind of both more or less similar players on defense. But I guess by John playing the 5, John playing the 5 is also the reason why probably Bismack gave them 15 and 13. I don't know. I'm gonna have to run the tape back actually on that one before I sit there and say something outlandish like that. Because it's kind of disrespectful to John's game, even though he hasn't been playing the best on defense as of late. George had a few struggles, either inbounding or receiving the inbound pass. Yeah. Always at the house, at least in spirit. Hardy started him out further on the wing and less at the top of the arc, and then helped with the spacing a ton tonight in his angles and passes off of picks. I think Hardy's figuring out how to use him. Well, we'll take any little bit that we can get better. Anything that turns into a win is a good thing for us. Our best offensive action is Abaji marking and screening for each other with Keontae at point. I like that action actually, like a lot of it, because either way, whichever one of them ends up breaking free, they can both hit that 3-pointer, and Keontae's going to fire the ball into that window to get them the opportunity to get it up. And I would compliment that by saying that a healthy Walker Kessler at the rim rebounding, or even John Collins being on the court at the time, John Collins will crash the lane. So I trust the ball to go in. It's going to be a high percentage play. And even if the ball doesn't go in, I still trust us to get the rebound more often than not. THC's defense is all right. I just can't stand the decision making on offense. Yeah, I could see that. The lineups are far more favorable to everyone's offensive game right now, but we have no choice but no chance to compete against legit teams. Yeah, the defensive issues need to be ironed out, because right now, as it stands, going against a team like the Suns or the Lakers, even, or the Nuggets, even, it's going to get ugly very quickly. Like first quarter down 8 to 10, and then just a continuous steady flow of offense from them. Just steady body shots would kill us, basically. Even the fadeaway 3 he made tonight was like, seriously, bro. Indeed. Our earlier lineups had a better chance of beating elite teams. They just looked worse when it wasn't working. Also, I would agree with that, Tyler, actually. It's hard to properly explain it to people though, because it's like when things were ugly, they were really god awful. But when things worked, it was manageable. With this one, it looks good right now, but if you try to do the same thing against an elite team in the league, I don't know how well that works out. And honestly, I lean against it, but you never know until it actually happens, I guess. So I gotta relax a little bit. what Lee said. Everyone like and subscribe, man. That I didn't even read what Tatum said until after I said what I just said. Yeah. Rudy Gay got waived. He did get waived. Okay, yeah, so I was right. Lee in Utah, yes, sir. Yeah, I like the idea of keeping Lowry. It's not often we have a player like him. You said we got 28 in here watching. Everyone hit that button. Oh yeah, we do have like 26 in here right now. That's a lot higher than usual. I must be doing something special. THT's offensive game frustrates me too right now. I just believe him long term, like I've said. Once it works with THT, it's going to really work, in my opinion. I would agree with you. I would agree with you on that one. Reliable scoring and puts in effort on defense. Just need to clean up the turnovers. Yep. Yeah, I live in Utah. Keontae's inability to hit a shot frustrates me, but I believe he will get better because he's still well within that window. THT is as well, guys. A win is a win. What Jordan said, especially in a tournament where young teams try to figure it out. Patient. And we're trying, man. We're trying. We have to be Numbard or Emmanuel Quickly than Levine, honestly. Emmanuel Quickly is kind of crazy. Am I tweaking? I could see Numbard though. Hi Keontae. No Levine makes 40 plus million. That ain't peanuts. I think he was talking about what we would give up in a trade. Nehemiah, is this your first time commenting in the chat, buddy? Welcome. If that is, welcome. If that isn't the first time you responded, I apologize for not recognizing sooner. I try to catch everybody on their first comment. Quickly, nice. 31 now. Holy, yeah, that is true. That is true. We're riding a high right now, boys. We're really riding a high right now, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. If Keontae continues to play defense with the intensity and focus he did tonight, he's starting for a decade, barring injury. Definitely, he was not a liability on defense. That was the biggest difference. A lot of times, you see a situation where he's the guy that gets beat making rookie mistakes. And tonight he made a couple. He made a couple. I'm not gonna sit there and say it was a defensive masterclass by him, but across the entire sample size of the game, he was definitely a lot better than we've seen in any game previous to now. You said give the ball to Clarkson on crunch time and we're on the right path. Go Jazz. At this point, I'm happy with the tournament game win. I'll take it to where we get to it. Find it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely love the high volume we're getting in the chat. Everyone should like it. Oop! My thing messing up. Nice. Nice. Almost at 30. Huge W. Lakers down by 12. That's crazy. Let's see. Hey, baby steps, moving up bit by bit by bit. You know what I'm saying? Abaji has a laser quick knife to the basket, and Lowry deadly from three. It's good action. We'll be seeing for years. Yep. Who's on here? Tiago. That's the whole point of me sitting there and shouting you boys out every time I get on live. And that's why I try to catch everybody the first time they comment, right? Because I'm going to remember for one, your profile picture, for two, the conversations we had, and I try to remember the first time you commented or like what the conversation is. So if somebody says, like, say 2 months from now, let's say we hit 1,000 subscribers or whatever, and the streams are always jumping. I still want to be able to know exactly like when Derek pops in the stream and just call out Derek for all the noobs and they're like, oh, we've been here for a while. Like, well, you guys never commented. I would have remembered if you commented. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. Plus, you guys remember too. Let's see. You think we'll see Lowry at the 4 and Ochai at the 3 starting soon? I think it is definitely possible. It's only a matter of time. Let's see. Versus Portland versus Phoenix at the Lakers. Which do we win? This game against the Grizzlies was kind of ugly, but we still clear Portland, right? Phoenix and the Lakers, they're looking down on us because of the way that we've executed. Now, those are statement games, right? Less so Phoenix, because I don't think that there's a world where Phoenix plays so poorly and our defense is so up to par that we get enough stops to win that one. But the Lakers, because LeBron is literally having to carry that team on his back at the age of 38 years old. To Anthony Davis's credit, he has actually not been hot dog water this season, but those two guys have to have almost virtuoso games just for that team to win. And maybe we get lucky that day and they don't have a terrific game. But I think that's definitely a more manageable win than Phoenix, but definitely Portland. So at worst, 1-2, maybe 2-1. Um, yeah, let's play when Walker comes back. Portland, we win. I hope. Thanks for saying my name right. Nice. Yeah, because I had a I I coached track and basketball actually. So I had a kid that was a middle schooler named Nehemiah, but it was IAH at the end. So I'm trying to get that little culture in there. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. But I'm glad I got it right too. Eric, I think the Jazz are committed to the big front court long term. I think Ochai will be our starting two once one of our fours can play make. Everyone's making uncharacteristic turnovers. Did he get injured? I actually need to watch a couple of the Lakers games because I saw him have high turnover numbers, and I don't think anybody's publicizing it. And I'm a LeBron guy, right? I know a lot of people aren't. Some people are. I'm a LeBron guy, but I'm a student of the game first, a LeBron fan second. The reason why I like LeBron over the Kobe's and the Jordans is because LeBron will make the right pass or the right play, even though we would want him to shoot it, right? We want him to go up against that double team, and if he misses that shot, we'll just be like, dang, that should have been a foul. The rest didn't. Da da da. Woot doo woot doo woot. You know what I'm saying? But if there's, for example, what game was it recently where Cam Reddish was open in the corner? The correct play is when he drives downhill, whoever doubles off of their man, punish them with the shooter, and that's what he did. And he didn't get the payout from making the correct decision, which is why everybody ragged on him. It's like, well, the real goats wouldn't have did that. And it's like, okay, well, that was the correct play, analytically speaking, from a numbers, X's to X's, O's to O's. That was the correct play to make. He made the play. The shot just didn't go in. You know what I'm saying? But that's the pitfall of his style of basketball. However, as of late, there's been a lot of turnovers. I need to see where they're coming from. Like I want to see a compilation. There's probably a compilation out there because there's a lot of LeBron haters. I need to see a compilation of all the turnovers he's had this season to see where the inconsistency see it well where the inconsistencies are because it just doesn't make sense to me why they're so high and nobody's talking about them as well. Usually, that would be one of the first things that get brought up. Yeah, he's averaging high numbers, but his turnovers are crazy. You said if we could pull off a miracle against the Suns, we can advance to the tourney, but I don't think it's likely. Yeah, it's just one of those things, man. Could definitely see that happen, Eric, especially when Kessler comes back. Odo's been playing well, starting at the three. God to hope we beat the Lakers. My girlfriend's a Lakers fan. Oh, tried the two, Keontae at the one would be a dream for me. Yeah, bad Lakers is on the road. I think CJ McCollum would be a great fit. I was thinking about CJ McCollum too. I just don't know how that would work. And I also feel like low key, it would stunt the development of either Ochai or Keontae George. So perhaps you would send one of them in the trade. Obviously, it would lean Ochai, even though he provides the defense that CJ McCollum doesn't provide. I don't know. It just be you would lose something in order to gain that essentially. James, you said Lakers have been bad so far. I hope we have Kessler for that game though. I love the hot dog order. I'm trying to keep it PG-13 as possible. So hot dog order is the first thing that comes to mind. I think it was like I was watching like Adventure Time or something, and that was the first time I heard of it. Yeah, taking Lakers 3-0 at home. Gonna be a difficult game. Yeah. LeBron. Oh, he did get injured. Oh, he got injured in tonight's game. Ooh. Wesley, is that your first comment ever, bro? What's up, Wesley? If I'm not, let me know when the first time he popped in the stream was. Um, wish we could have had the Lakers at home, Suns on the road. Yeah, I would feel much more comfortable with that, Tatum. Tyler, you said I would like to see the Lakers having the answers for Lowry. I could see the Lakers having no answers to Lowry. We also don't have an answer for AD or Braun. AD's answer can be potentially himself, low key. Um, Likewise, if AD plays Lowry properly, it's going to be hard for us to have productive offensive sets. Just a thought. Now that I think about it. Um, okay, explains the turnovers I'm seeing tonight, but he's also been turning it over more lately, and they're on driving kicks, really? As though his vision is the problem? That's wild. Maybe it's a chemistry thing. Good news is now we officially have a tiebreaker against the Grizzlies, so now we want the Grizzlies to beat all of our Western foes. That would be nice. Yo, Ja, come, stand on business, Ja. The league thinks you're trash now. I need you to beat everybody that you play. Y'all can make the playoffs, but we need that tiebreaker, fam. Um, Loved it when John Collins is baptized. He said Big Mac meal. Why you type his name like that? Tiago Big Mac. I mean, Bismack is already crazy enough, but Big Mac is even more insane. I think I'm gonna get tickets for the Jazz Lakers game the following Tuesday. I haven't been to a game in years. Yeah, man, go to that game, bro. John the Baptist. Tiago, I'm saying. I just don't like the establishment phoniness of LeBron. Great player, probably genuinely a good dude, but got a bit of that Russell Wilson cringe in him. I mean, yeah, he's also an old head, low key. Like the way I don't like the way he is it his IG stories or his Twitter posts. It's one or the other. That's my goat and all, but sometimes I read it, and I'm like, bro, take his phone out of his hand, please. Somebody. Um, what you said, I like CJ, but he's kind of inconsistent. Yeah, that's why I also said like CJ McCollum would provide something that the Jazz are missing, and it would be a guaranteed scoring punch. The likes of which Jordan Clarkson has been the past 2 games, but it's a question of do you want to lose a little bit of length for defensive purposes, and just how much is the asking price going to be for him specifically? Let's see. So you live in California, Eric? Yeah, bro. You're in Inland Empire, 45 minutes from LA. Ooh. Start using hot dog lately, not gonna lie. Hey, I'm in your head, Lee. We're connected, bro. We're connected. Kessler locked up 80 last year. Nice. OD. Okay. Tell you said very true. I think Lowry can power through Davis. Kessler won't be playing against the Lakers, unfortunately. Bismack is already a hilarious name. That's what I was saying. Like, that's already unorthodox. Like, you don't hear that often. In Bismarck, North Carolina, we will call Big Macs Bismacks. OD. JC is inconsistent, but on the crucial minutes of the game, just give him the ball because he'll find a way. Spurs Television, is that your first comment? What is your actual name, bro? I think I saw you subscribe. I remember when you subscribed to my channel actually, because I got an alert from it. But what's up, bro? He loves Keontae so much. Maybe he has a lot of space for George on his side. Fair. Goes more efficient version of JC. I could see that. Yeah. Turnstile defender. Yeah. Oh, absolutely connected. Sorry, I'm back. Oh, there's Tyson. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the family, buddy. Welcome back to the chat. Lee said facts. JC was clutch now, and the Clippers. Yeah, that's what he's here for. That's what we pay him money for. That's why he got that. Was it 3-year deal? Yeah, that's why he got the 3-year deal for. Loved we were more disciplined when it comes to fouls tonight, up until those last 17 minutes of the game. Now we need to work on the turnovers. I would agree. 34 in the chat a second ago. Oh, for real? I was not paying attention. I saw the 28. Wonder where our record will be if we kept Westbrook. No, he doesn't fit the timeline, but it would at least be at least 500. That would be interesting. Before I tell, let me read the rest of these. I like key spacing in his assists, bro. Loving him. Yeah, numbers are climbing. Love to see it. Yes, sir. Now, my thing. Let's see. The entire team's focus on intensity was at good level tonight. I saw 3 or 4 lazy passes. It was refreshing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yana, loved awesome content. Wonder if we can get some of the Warriors videos. Also, we're having a great start to season. Fuck you. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. A lot of people find the channel. Let me see. The thing about Russell Westbrook that I find a little bit wonky is the fact that he seems to operate better out of structure than actually in structure. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe it's just like the fact that I've watched maybe it's the way I watch the games. It just seems like he performs better on the fast break than he does when there's a set play that he's supposed to be running. Because whenever it's an offensive set, I feel like he doesn't get the most. You don't get the most out of Russell. Like, yeah, he'll make the pass, but a lot of times it just doesn't seem like he's doing the next. He's going to the next level. He's not making that next step. So I don't really know if maybe somebody would disagree with me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm willing to entertain the fact that I could be potentially, like, incorrect, but I feel like Russell Westbrook wouldn't be as great a fit as we would hope he would be in our head. I just got a message from one of my group chats that said the Gobert trade is paying dividends. Yes, it is. Yep. After a full season of NBA basketball, the Timberwolves are finally glad that they have Rudy Gobert because he's paying them back. He said, Ochai did good. Simon played his small forward role. THT Sexton did good. And Lowry was, of course, Lowry. John Collins did great, great game. You know, it didn't get closed out the way that we hoped it would, but overall, it wasn't too ugly. So I'm happy for it. I'm happy for it. No, he made those threes, sure, but he let his man wide open like 4 times for easy buckets. That's one of the thing about Fontecchio is it's a trade-off, right? We know he's going to be a liability on defense. He might get let a couple backdoor cuts go. But he's there to be. He's one of those guys where if he's not getting a shot on offense every other play, every other possession, then there's no reason for him to be on the court, right? Because he's at his best and he's only useful if he's hitting his threes. If he's not hitting his threes and he's a poor defender, you have to pull him from the game. But if he's hitting his threes and he's having a couple defensive lapses, he's still playable to a certain extent. And if you really need a three, he's somebody that you could put on the court and he should, in theory, hit that three. Now, when he doesn't, is when it's a problem. He said, "No, you're right. He's never been efficient in the half court deadly transition put back." Yeah, said he played his role. We just wanted to make some shots. Yeah, I'd rather play Chris Dunn at the three than Fantecchio. Andrew, is that your first comedy here, bro? What's up, man? I like the guy shooting his three. I'm the guy. I'm like, oh, that's Fontecchio. Guy with the F is Fontecchio. The win in the paint. Nah, I tell you, you got me dead right